The end of an era. Sheikh Hasina steps down. Sheikh Hasina had been a towering figure in Bangladeshi politics for decades. As the Prime Minister, she led the nation for over 14 years. Her time in office, however, came to an abrupt end on August 5th. Faced with mounting protests and unrest, Hasina chose to resign. This decision marked a dramatic turn of events for Bangladesh and sent ripples of uncertainty throughout the region. Hasina's legacy is a complex one. Her supporters lauded her for overseeing a period of economic growth and development. They pointed to her efforts to improve infrastructure and reduce poverty. Her critics, on the other hand, accused her of becoming increasingly authoritarian. They highlighted concerns about human rights and freedom of speech under her rule. The protests that ultimately led to Hasina's resignation were fueled by a potent mix of frustrations. A nation-divided protests rock Bangladesh. The protests were not simply about Sheikh Hasina. They exposed deep divisions within the country. Supporters pointed to her record on economic growth. Opponents accused her of corruption and stifling dissent. They demanded her resignation and fresh elections. Despite progress, inequality had widened.
The international community watched the unfolding crisis in Bangladesh with growing concern. The United States, a key ally of Bangladesh, called for all parties to show restraint and engage in dialogue. The U.S. emphasized the importance of upholding democratic principles and respecting human rights.
India, Bangladesh's powerful neighbor, also expressed its concern about the situation. India had cultivated close ties with Sheikh Hasina's government, and her departure created uncertainty about the future of the relationship. India stressed the need for a peaceful resolution to the crisis and a return to stability in Bangladesh.
The United Nations issued a statement urging all sides to refrain from violence and seek a peaceful solution through dialogue. The UN emphasized the importance of protecting human rights and ensuring a democratic transition in Bangladesh. The international community's response to the crisis in Bangladesh highlighted the global stakes involved. Bangladesh is a strategically important country located in a volatile region. The world had a vested interest in seeing a peaceful and democratic resolution to the crisis.
India's dilemma, navigating a new political landscape. India faced a particularly delicate situation following Sheikh Hasina's resignation. Hasina had been a reliable partner for India, and her departure left a void in India's regional strategy. India had to carefully calibrate its response to avoid being seen as interfering in Bangladesh's internal affairs while also protecting its own interests. On the one hand, India had to engage with the interim government in Bangladesh regardless of its political leanings. This engagement was crucial for maintaining communication and ensuring that bilateral cooperation on issues such as security and trade continued. On the other hand, India had to be mindful of not appearing to take sides in Bangladesh's internal political disputes. Any perception of favoritism towards one party or another could backfire and harm India's long-term interests in Bangladesh. India's challenge was compounded by the uncertainty surrounding Bangladesh's political future. It remained unclear when fresh elections would be held and what the outcome of those elections might be. This uncertainty made it difficult for India to plan its long-term engagement with Bangladesh. The shadow of uncertainty, Bangladesh's uncertain future. In the wake of Sheikh Hasina's resignation, Bangladesh found itself at a crossroads. The country faced a multitude of challenges, and its future trajectory remained uncertain. The path ahead was fraught with both risks and opportunities. One immediate concern was the potential for further instability and violence. The protests that toppled Hasina had exposed deep divisions within Bangladeshi society. These divisions could easily resurface. The path forward towards a peaceful and democratic Bangladesh. The road ahead for Bangladesh would not be easy. However, amidst the uncertainty, there were also glimmers of hope. The people of Bangladesh had shown their determination to have a say in how their country was governed. This was a positive sign for the future of democracy in the country. Ultimately, the future of Bangladesh rested in the hands of its people. It was up to them to decide what kind of country they wanted to build. If they could come together and embrace the principles of democracy, dialogue, and tolerance, Bangladesh had the potential to overcome its challenges and emerge as a stronger and more prosperous nation.